many familiar faces. So many people that I actually didn't know a year and a half ago that I'm very close with today. I'm very happy actually that there's no piano here, because whenever Derek and myself get into a room and there's a piano, the governor somehow coerces us into singing or doing something. It was spontaneous, by the way. I had no choice. He pretty much, in a room full of people, said, "Derek, come play something for us." And then Derek looks at me and he says, "And Mia will sing." And of course I didn't know I didn't have anything prepared, didn't know what I was going to do. And on the way to the piano, which was maybe 10 feet, on the way to the piano, Derek's like, "What do you know? What do you want to sing?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I have nothing. I can't think of anything." And he says, do For Good. And I said, "Derek, that's a duet." He's like, "Don't worry, we'll make it work." And we got up, and it was such a great, he just kind of led me through the whole thing, and I sang. And then everyone was just, I don't know if anybody knows the song For Good, but everyone was just kind of bawling. And he looks, and he just kind of winks at me, and he goes, "Show tunes." And Derek and I have been very, very close ever since. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I believe Utah is just made of, and that's the pioneering heritage. I wanted to give you a different perspective on that. My parents, everyone knows the story of my parents immigrating from Haiti, really just looking for the opportunity to work hard and keep a little bit of what they've earned. So my parents are naturally conservative because they just wanted the opportunity to work and take care of their family and make decisions and not have government rule their lives. And so, they were naturally conservative. And I learned some very strong principles about limited government and personal responsibility, and just living within your means, not spending more than you earn. And when I moved to Utah, I tried to introduce my roommate to a young man that I met on his mission, and that's Jason Love. Somehow he and I ended up getting together, and here we are, 14 years later. But I was only supposed to be in Utah for about 6 months. I wasn't supposed to stay. I was actually coming just to see what it was like to actually walk to a temple. And I ended up just falling in love with Utah and the beauty. Gosh, if you think, I remember just being out in Connecticut thinking we had mountains. Those are hills compared to what we have in the state of Utah. And so just understand that I actually had, when I was figuring out what I wanted to do with my life or where I wanted to live, I found home in Utah. I found people who believed in the same things I believe in. I found people who would express themselves freely and would be okay with doing that. I found the beauty of the landscapes there, and I found home. Talking about expressing yourself freely, there's something that actually happened in the state of Utah that I know would never happen in Connecticut. I walked into a Sprint store. I was getting the iPhone 4S, Siri. I found out later, obviously, Siri doesn't tell you everything you want to know. She kind of decides what she wants to tell you. But I went in to get a phone, and I saw this man walking in, and he had a gun in a holster on his side. And he was just kind of open carrying, and I was just kind of staring at it and looking. And he looks at me, kind of popped up his chest a little bit, and said, "Does this make you uncomfortable?" I said, "No." And I said, "Is that a Glock?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "The 26? And he said, "Yeah." I said, 9mm? He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Great gun for a woman. That's exactly what I carry." So anyway, that's why this is home. I found myself in Saratoga Springs, as the governor talked about. We found ourselves in a really tough time, and we had to make decisions to get things in order. Saratoga Springs now has the highest bond rating. We're doing really well. We're just fiscally responsible, and we are preserving and making sure that we're staying that way for the next 40, 50 years. in order to stay that way, people forget sometimes that it's so easy to go backwards. Once you make some steps forward, it's so easy to go backwards. 2 years ago, I had some residents come to me and say, Mayor, we need a library. Go get a library. Everyone has a library. Lehigh has a library. Eagle Mountain has a library. Obviously, Harriman, all these other places, they have great libraries. It's time for us to get a library. Go get us a library. And I said, libraries are all expenditure, no revenue. And I don't know how we're actually going to do that because, I mean, you know, you have to find ground, you have to build, you have to get employees, you have to get books. I mean, if anyone knows what it takes to actually build a library, it's just a daunting task. And they said, well, everybody's got one. You need to go get us one. It's the proper role. We've got to go do that. And I said, if it's really, truly an essential service, we'll find a way of doing it. And maybe we don't have to be in the way of doing this. So I said, go out and get a library. So the residents went out. They said, we're going to try this task. I don't think anybody knew how difficult it was going to be. But they went and got the residents to donate books. What they didn't donate, what they didn't use, they repaired and resold. They got fundraising from the local community. They were working so hard to get this library. We weren't just building a library, you have to understand. We were building a community. People came together for movie nights to donate to the library. You would see people gathering together on Monday nights, family nights at Wingnuts, and you knew they were all there for the same purpose. Today we have a full-blown library, and none of it is on the backs of the taxpayers. We're the only city that's been able to have a library without government in the way. And it's not a hole in the wall, by the way. It's actually a wonderful library. The reason why I tell you this is because that's the spirit of Utah. That's the spirit of pioneering. When government doesn't do something for you, guess what we get to do? We get to go out and do it ourselves. And many times, it's the best way to do it. And what makes this country great, what makes Utah great, is that every day, ordinary people like me, like you, get to go out and do extraordinary things. And that's what we're trying to preserve here. So, today, let's go out and do something extraordinary together. What do you think? I want to say thank you so much. I'm not going to single anybody out, but everyone in this room has had some part in this race. I cannot do this on my own. I'm going to need all of you behind me, helping me, pushing me, encouraging. And I've made some great friends. I've made some great people that I will have as friends forever. Thank you so much. And I wanted to have my husband stand up and thank him because he is my rock star. We are going to go out and have some fun together. And yes, we are going to be Monaco, and every day I get to beat him. It's a great day for me. This is fun. So thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I love you. I love Utah. Thank you.